Good evening, my dear friends. Welcome to the second episode of my journey between destiny and conscience. This book is an inner journey, an exploration of destiny, consciousness, childhood, of love, of time, and of spirit. It is a true story. The path is not always chosen by us, but the way we walk, it defines us. People shape our paths, and life unfolds in the spaces between. In its pages, the reader will find not only the life of a man.
This journey is not just about the destination, but also a part of one's own quest.
My path between destiny and conscience, dedicated to my son, Vlad Petru Alexandru. Well, with the thought that reality is not limited to what the eyes can see. Try to see with the heart, for the limits are only in our minds. And confidence in ourselves helps us overcome them. Between destiny and consciousness, each step is a choice, each moment a revelation. Between dream and reality, past and future, lessons that shape us and questions that guide us. This is my story, a path strewed with memories, carrying echoes of time. Discoveries that open gates to deeper meanings and reflections on the material world, reflecting on the material and spiritual aspects of my own inner existence. This will be an exploration of the mysteries that surround us and those deep within the soul. This is a journey through the labyrinth of the human psyche, navigating between destiny and consciousness. The path between destiny and consciousness is a philosophical search for meaning and truth. These searches, along with the fascination for the past and the desire to understanding the inner mechanisms, they will shape this story.
Chapter 5, The Family Imprint.
On my mother's side, the memories take me back to my grandparents, Stanica and Milica. They lived in Bucharest on Rămășagului Street, right next to Autobuzul Stadium. Grandfather Stanica had a unique presence and say, the path is not just a journey, but a reflection of one's soul. He was tall, slim, and had an unnatural elegance, something foreign to the rest of our world. Perhaps because his parents were Greek, a quiet nobility was felt in his features, a different kind of light. He spoke little, but his silences seemed to fill the room with an unseen presence. The path unfolds not where we seek, but where we least expect, within the quiet of our own reflection. I remember how, when I was very young, Stanica would come to our street Docolina. When he was around, you felt that everything was in order. He would retreat to a corner of the room, light a cigarette, and stare into the void, contemplating his path. I felt it as if he was listening to voices we couldn't hear. I once asked him if he had known his Greek parents. He paused for a moment, then said in a low voice, "Father was from Athens. Back then, the city smelled of hot stone, sea breeze, and cheap wine." He led me through Plaka and said, "You see, boy, in Greece the stones speak. If you stop for a moment, you'll hear them. They are stories in them." Then he smiled and changed the subject. But that scene stayed imprinted in my memory. Perhaps the Greeks from whom he descended left him not only blood, an echo of a temple, an ancient unfinished mystery. I remember him in a dream, but there he was young. He wore a grey coat and walked along a stone path, with white walls all around, like the old Plaka in Athens. He brought his finger to his lips and smiled, not as a grandfather, but as a guide from another dimension. I knew then, in the dream, what he never told me, that he had been someone else. And perhaps I too had been with him in other times. That perhaps the bond between us was not just of blood, but founded on shared silences, reflecting on echoes of past lives, where every step whispers of journeys untold. There are people who grow us not just in this life, but in others, without us knowing. Some people don't tell their story. They leave it written in others' dreams. Grandfather Stanica left us far too soon. Was still small, and the world around me was too vast to grasp what death meant. Chapter 6. the boundary between this world and the other world. There were moments in my life when I felt I no longer belonged to this world. Not because I wanted to leave, but because I felt carried beyond what we call reality. One of the most vivid such moments happened in childhood, in the parental home in Bucharest. I was very sick, extremely sick. I had a high fever, I think somewhere between 40 and 41 degrees. That night was a journey in itself. I remember the state, not just physically, but spiritually.
My body was there, sweating and feverish, but my consciousness floated.
I was here for a few minutes, then I disappeared for hours into a strange space between dream and death. I saw unfamiliar yet familiar places, timeless and between times. I felt I no longer belonged to that room in the old house, but to another realm. It was not a dream, not a delusion. It was a parallel state of existence. Part of me knew I was sick, that my mother was worried, that the ambulance was delayed. But another part had already accepted that I was gone, without fear, without regret, just a deep and strange calm. When I woke up this morning, everything seemed different. It was as if I had returned from another life. I was weak, but present. The morning light felt more real than ever. Mother watched over me, with tired eyes and a frightened soul, but calm knowing I returned.
It was like a silent rebirth, a reconnection to the reality I had left for a few hours.
This memory isn't just about illness. It's about a threshold.
This is about a temporary parting from my everyday self and meeting another version of me.
It may be older, it may be yet to come, but certainly it is deeper. The path we choose defines our destiny. Thank you for watching. I wish you all the best. May your path be illuminated with wisdom and peace.